Good evening and welcome to all our viewers. We have an amazing match on our hands here. Delhi Capitals taking on the Rajasthan Royals live from the Wankhede Stadium. And I have with me my guest Salil. Hi Salil.
Hey Yash, absolutely. It's going to be a cracker of a match. You have two very big teams with a lot of talented names in it, and all you can expect is some fantastic cricket for 40 overs.
What do you think, Salil? Playing at the Wankhede Stadium, the last match that happened at the Wankhede, we saw some fireworks going out, balls going right out towards the Marine Lines and Churchgate. What do you have to say about this pitch, Salil?
I think it's a similar kind of a pitch. Wankhede is made for a lot of runs, and this was interesting because both the teams have the batting power to either bat first or bat second and chase any kind of score and put any score on the board. So it'll be interesting to see how we go about this.
To evenly poised teams and the toss playing an important factor here. Toss is being done and Rajasthan Royals have won the toss and elected to bowl first on this pitch. Do you think it's a good toss to win, Salil?
Yes, absolutely. And Rajasthan coming back from losing a match where they were chasing more than 200 runs and they were very close. So I think they'll take their chances to chase again on this track. Also, they've because they've bowled here before, they know how if they need to tweak their bowling a little bit to restrict them to restrict Delhi to under 200 runs. So I think it's a very good toss to win for Rajasthan.
Some big names in these two teams. Jofra Archer missing out, Stokes missing out, but then replacing them is David Miller. And here are the teams: Manan Bora, Sanju Samson, David Miller coming in place of Ben Stokes, as I mentioned, and Chetan Sakriya, the wonder boy, the left arm pacer. Jaydev Unadkat given a chance here. So, what do you have to say about this playing 11, Salil? On this pitch, will it be effective?
I think it'll be absolutely effective. I think Ben Stokes going out is a big blow for the RR team, but they're nothing short of talent there. I'm sure a couple of players like David Miller and Liam Livingston can step up and take his place and make sure that there is no void left after him. I think what they're going to do is by taking David Miller, who's a solid middle order batsman, they will be opening with Joss Butler, which I think they should have done before. So
Yes.
I think their batting lineup is quite formidable. Looks very solid with Sanju Samson coming in at 3 and David Miller at 4, and the rest to follow. You know what Riyan Parag is has had done in the last match, along with what Rahul Tewatia is capable of, and the batting looks pretty good. So I don't think they should have a problem, or they should think too much about missing out on not having Ben Stokes.
Riyan Parag, not only a good dancer, but also a good hitter of the ball. Yeah, comes
Yes.
in the end and he whacks those sixes at will. And these young lads back themselves and they can clear any boundaries.
True, actually, I think the way he was used not only for his batting, he also bowled that one over where they got Chris Gale out. So they have a couple of tricks up their sleeve, Rajasthan Royals, and understandably so. The kind of coaching staff both teams have, I'm sure they are master strategists, and they will come out with the best formula that they think will be right for the match, and review that formula and change it if required as the course of the match, as the match progresses.
Races. Yep. And the Delhi team is an amazing team as well. They were the finalists last year and they have some amazing players. They've got two changes, two important changes. Kagiso Rabada coming in and Lalit Yadav, the Delhi all-rounder off-spinner batsman, given a chance here. What do you have to say about that, Salil? An interesting change. Ashwin
Yeah,
being, an off-spinner. What do you have to say, Salil?
Yes, I think what they've done is they've replaced Kagiso Rabada with Shimron Hetmeyer. Now that generally doesn't happen. You don't get a bowler instead of a batsman,
Yeah.
and Lalit Yadav coming in, a guy who can bat too. I think will take care of that void by replacing Amit Mishra. So I think they've done a great change. It's a very intelligent team, that they've chosen. So I think let's see if this gamble pays off. I mean, you know what these guys who've just come into the squad are capable of. I mean, Kagiso Rabada, no words to say about him, right?
Tough call taken by the coaches there. Dropping Shimron Hetmeyer, who didn't bat at all in the first game, didn't get a chance to bat, and dropping Amit Mishra, the veteran, and picking Lalit Yadav as a youngster. What do you think, Salil?
Yeah, I think Lalit Yadav would bring, apart from his bowling, he will bring some batting also into the team, and also I think fielding would have been a big factor. I think one of the clips I saw during the previous match that Delhi played was the Amit Mishra is not really up for fielding. Especially when he was running towards the boundary, jogging towards it, it didn't look fit at all. So I think there is a big difference that Lalit Yadav will bring to the team. If not his bowling goes expensive, he'll be able to bat and he'll be able to field much better than what an Amit Mishra is. So I think what they've done is they've stacked every player's competencies, and they've seen the best that can come out for this squad against this team. So Lalit Yadav's choice, I'm not very surprised that they did that.
Well, Kagiso Rabada, the purple cap holder in the last season, he taken around 30 wickets and he was phenomenal with the ball. So look at that economy with which he bowled, and he's picked a lot of wickets in the death overs. So I think that's the reason majorly why I think they've backed Kagiso Rabada, and obviously they needed someone of his stature in the team and his experience, the pace that he has, and Wankhede beat any pitch. He's as lethal as anyone on this pitch.
Yes, Kagiso Rabada cannot be dropped. The kind of bowler that he is, he's one of the best bowlers in the world, if not the best. And that he brings such a lot of firepower into the team. He is feared by most of the batsmen in the world. He bowls in the death. He bowls the initial overs, and those 30 wickets are good enough, proof to show that what kind of a player he is. I think his inclusion, along with Tom Curran and Chris Wokes, who are already in the team, is because both of them had also bowled very well in the previous clash, and
Yeah.
it's not easy to bowl on a batting track. So I think they've retained their bowlers who've bowled well. They've gotten their highest wicket-taking bowler from last season, and they're looking stronger than ever.
Absolutely, they are. And there was an interesting question earlier where someone asked about Ben Stokes, not being there. What would be the impact that he would create, his absence in the team? What do you think, Salil?
I think it's a huge loss to begin with. If you lose the world's best all-rounder, Ben Stokes, he easily kills out any other match that he out of the 14 matches he'd play, he'd win you 3 or 4 on
Absolutely.
his own merits. So I think losing out on Ben Stokes will be a big blow for Rajasthan Royals, but that's not how a campaign works. There have been campaigns where bigger players have been injured, but the team has still gone ahead and either reached the finals or won them. And great teams do not think about the people that they don't have. They will think about the people that they have, and they're there in the team because they are capable of performing like a champion side. So Ben Stokes going out, I think yes, they would have had that thought, but they will leave that thought behind and move on in the tournament now. They won't be talking about Ben Stokes. They will move on, and they have the players to back them for it.
Captain Fantastic and Silent Sanju going head to head for the first time. They're leading their teams in this IPL. So how would they go about, both having completely contrasting results in the first match? Pant being on the winning side and Sanju on the losing one. How do you think they will go about in this game?
I think they're going to go out, all out for this match. Two things that you need to notice is one, both of them are young keepers, and both of them are vying for the India spot. While Rishabh Pant is already there and he's got his call, Sanju Samson, with his excellent performance in the last IPL, also got an entry into the Indian T20 team. So essentially, they're both competition for each other, and that's only good for Indian cricket. I think the kind of attitude that they carry as young keepers, you could have seen it at the toss, where Sanju Samson was asked, "How do you recover from your previous matches loss?" He was like, "It's another day, it's another game, and we need to take the learnings and move on." He was so positive and cool with it. I don't think he has that loss or that defeat at the back of his mind when he's going to play today against Delhi. Secondly, when it came to Rishabh Pant is like, it doesn't matter who won the toss. The wicket is good to bat on and to bowl on, and I think we just have to keep our line length and make sure the bat balls are hit. So the attitude and the kind of confidence that both these players come with show that there is a lot of competition between the two, and they are not letting out any weak spots or any kind of thing to back them down. So all in all, it's going to be they both are positive, and that's a great sign of a side being raring to go. So it should be a great match and clash of the captains, of the young
Clash of the
captains.
captains. The young captains both look hungrier than
Wicket
ever.
keeping. Yep.
Yeah. And speaking of the Delhi batting lineup, you have a lot of youth and experience in them, like we spoke about it earlier. Prithvi Shaw being in form, scoring four or hundreds. Shikhar Dhawan in form, scoring an 85, blistering 85 in the first innings. And later on to come, you have Rishabh Pant, Ajinkya Rahane, Marcus Stoinis with the bat, and now inclusion of Lalit Yadav. What do you have to say about this batting lineup, and how would they bat on this pitch?
Okay, I think the most important thing to note here is Prithvi Shaw. There are some stats that I'd like to give you. Out of the 10 matches that Prithvi Shaw has scored more than 30 runs, Delhi has won 9 times. And
Wow.
Shikhar Dhawan, before joining this team, he had a strike rate of 113 in the first 6 overs. And after joining Delhi Capitals, his strike rate is at 143 in the first 6 overs. So that itself says that they are a power starting team. They should score nothing less than 60 runs in the first 6 overs if everything goes their way. And the kind of depth that they have with Rishabh Pant coming in and behaving maturely in the last few months and batting brilliantly, I think they're a side which can look to score 200 in any other game.
Could you see Rishabh Pant coming up at number three, or you would want to see Ajinkya Rahane, the normal batting lineup, or you want to see a switch in the batting lineup given the state of the game, how the game moves forward?
I think both of them will be padded up. If a wicket would fall earlier in the 4 overs, I think Ajinkya Rahane would be a better bet to go out because he's not a
Mhm.
guy who can come in the 15th over and go and hit sixes and fours. He's more like a sheet anchor, like a Manish Pandey kind of a role that he needs to play in the team of generally big hitters. So
Yeah.
I think it'll all depend. If the wicket falls after 8th or 9th over, I think Rishabh Pant would promote himself because there are other hitters in the team. And let's see how the strategy works. I think this is what they'll do though.
Someone from the Rajasthan team has to raise their hand and say, yes, I am here for the team and I am going to be the wicket-taking bowler. And last time around it was Chetan Sakriya, but now with the inclusion of Jaydev Unadkat and Ben Stokes going out, obviously Chris Morris has to take the lead, and I think that it's a big responsibility towards the end of the innings for Chris Morris to bowl out his 4 overs and be really economical and pick wickets.
Absolutely, I think Chris Morris, being the big ticket player this year, there's a lot. Everybody's going to talk about him because there's money riding on him, and I think he has the caliber to come up and rise to the occasion and take those wickets and bowl. Towards the end, along with Chetan Sakaria. So let's wait and watch, and let's see how Delhi would navigate him.
Thank you, Salil. The umpires are out there. Quickly, one last question, Salil. What do you think, given the toss being done, Rajasthan bowling first, which player to watch out for, and what do you think, who is going to have the upper hand in the first innings?
I think Prithvi Shaw is somebody to watch out for, along with Rishabh Pant. And from a bowling perspective, I would see. I think it would be Chris Wokes. No, it's not Chris Wokes. It would be. Hang on.
Chris Morris, you meant Chris Morris.
Chris Morris. Chris Morris.
I got it. I got it earlier. So it's a good game in our hands. Good first innings to come up, and live action coming up in some time. Thank you, Salil. I'll see you in the mid match show.
Thanks, Yash. लास्ट मिस हो गया यार थोड़ा सा मतलब मैं वो क्रिस मॉरिस ही
लाइव
बोलने वाला था
लाइव बंद करो.